So I'm going to give, there's two ways we can test you on these. They could just give you numbers like this. Do not write these down. I'm just going to ask you questions about it in a second. Let's say that this was a score for how proficient you are in like athletics. Did you know that when I was a kid, there was a thing called, what was it called again? Presidential Fitness Award. And every single kid in high school tested. And you got given a number. And you either made presidential fitness, physical fitness, or you didn't. And of course, I was competitive in that area. I was kind of like trying for it. I made it. I was very proud of that. You had to do a certain number of push-ups, a certain number of pull-ups. You had to run a mile in a certain amount of time. I think we should go back to that. I think you should know where you're at according to, like this is just an opinion, but where you're at compared to like everybody else in the United States. Are you in like the top 10% of people? All right. Well, this would be like that. Let's say that in this class, we had a perfect 20. Somebody got the perfect 20, the highest score you can get for physical fitness. The lowest we got was a 9. All right. Would you be able to tell from this how many people scored between 14 and 20? Just to clarify, what percent of people scored between 14 and 20? Remind me to mark it back to present, although you are coming in pretty late. 9:02. Okay, we'll talk about it later. So what percent of people are in here? 25%. Yeah, you should have learned that yesterday. That's what this is about. This is dividing it up into 25%. 25% of people are in here. And then 50% of people are in the middle. Now, isn't there supposed to be a number in the middle? There is, and I left it out on purpose so we could talk about it. Well, let's say that the number in the middle is not right in the middle. What if it's over here? How would you know whether it's over there or in the middle? Because this should actually be on a number line. And you'd be able to tell by the number line where that line goes. All right, so that's called the median. It's the middle person. So the middle person got a 13 on their physical fitness test. There was 25% of people that were right in there. There was 25% of the people were in this big range between 11 and 13. You get how it divides up into 4 sets of 25%? All right. So do write this one down. Make a box. Make 2 whiskers. Make 36. Make 17. 20. 24. And 23. Now here's an example of questions I could ask you about it. So copy this onto your iPad. I don't think many of you could be done yet. Get that copy onto your iPad. Okay. All right. First of all, draw a line to and give the name for each one of these things. You should know the name. All of them are a name. I'll get you started. One of them's the min and one of them's the max. And if you forgot some of these names, that's what this is for. It's to remind you. So we actually draw a little line. Oh, this is a Q3. This is the median. This is the. Sam, give me a name for something up there. This is the blah. 17 is the blah. 17 is not the Q1. Yes, this is the Q1. Hint, there's a min and there's a max. Knowing that. Sam?
17 the min.
Yep.
36 is the max.
You got it. Okay. Dahlbeck, tell me one of the two that's left.
24
Q3, very good. Put it here. It's usually a little subscript 3, but it doesn't really matter. I wouldn't mark it wrong if you left it as a regular 3. And the last melon. Osano, what's in the middle here? Median, good. All right, next, to see if you understand what these do. What percent of people were between 23 and 36 for their ACT score? What percent of people were between 23 and 36? Yes.
50%?
Yep. Because look, it goes right here to here. And that's like 2 of those 25% blocks. See? 25, 25, that makes a total of 50%. So you're dividing it up into 4 sets of 25. What percent of people are between 17 and 20?
25.
Yeah, between 17, 20. That's 1 block. That's 25%. All right. Now, the next thing that you need to be able to do is enter these numbers on the calculator and get the 5 numbers. If you didn't catch this yet, after you do the 1 var stats, you have to hit down arrow a bunch of times, and the last 5 numbers that it gives you are the min, and ends with the max, and it gives you Q1, and it gives you Q3, and what do you think it puts right in the middle of those two? Median. Your calculator lists them in order for you. That's like from left to right on that, little box plot thing. That's the first thing you'd write right here. Q1's the next thing you'd write. Median's in the middle. Q3 is here, and max is there. So if you haven't caught that yet, the bottom 5 things on 1 var stats tell you those 5 key numbers. Yes?
Where's it with the mean go?
We don't even use it for this. Mean is a good number, but I'm hoping that you're catching that there's a lot more to stats than just the average. The average is the mean, and it's not even on this thing. Now, the average would probably be close to the median. I'll tell you that. Average and the median are probably within like a point of each other, but they aren't the same. All right, and this is an important point. The average gets thrown off if you have a really big number, but the middle number doesn't. Like if I had this box plot and this, for some reason, there was some score that was ridiculously high. Let's say this was about, I don't know, how much money people have total. And there was some person that was like a billionaire. And that meant they were so much above everybody else, but it wouldn't even throw off the average. Sorry, wait. It wouldn't even throw off the median. The middle number would still be the same. So if you had a whole bunch of people in the room and one of them is a billionaire, the average gets thrown off a lot because you add in a billion and then you add them all up. The average gets thrown off a lot, but the median, the middle number, won't even change if there's a billionaire in the group. Okay, so, and I'm going to give you 5 numbers. Everybody hit stat, edit, find list 1, and put in these numbers. 20, 25, 26, 31, 45. No, wait, 40. What you're doing right now is typing those in on L1. If you are lost, please raise your hand and I will walk over and help you. Once you got them typed in, go to 1 var stats.
right.
Okay, so now you have the 5 key numbers. They're in your list. You have to arrow down, and it starts with the min. Jordan Dahlbeck, would you read me the min? Did you say 20? I couldn't hear you. Okay, good. All right, max. What's the next one that's after the min?
Q1,
Yep, what is it?
22.5.
Can anybody verify 22.5? All right, good. The next thing is, I think the median, isn't it? Med? Sam, have you got these typed into your calculator? What did the median come out to?
Is it 28.4?
Anybody verify that?
No.
Okay, then Sam, go to stat, hit edit, and then here's the numbers again. I'll leave them up on the screen. You typed one of your numbers wrong.
I believe it did the average, not the median.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think
Find the thing that says MED, Sam.
I.
It's near the bottom. You have to hit down arrow a bunch of times to see all the things at the bottom. The 5 things at the bottom of the list.
Is it 26?
Is it?
Yep.
Okay, 26 is the median. Okay, and then there's Q3. Sam, since you're there, what's the Q3?
35.5.
Is that right? 35.5?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And the max? What was it, 40?
40.
Okay. All right, good. Now, this is different than some of you who probably already made the box. You probably knew I was going to make you make a box for it. But you need to do it more professionally like we're going to on the test, which is you have to have a number line. So you can, if you want to make this really nice, which I'd like you to, I'd like you to bring up some grid lines. That's what I would call graph paper, but they don't call it that. In Notability, press the 3 dots, add grid lines, and that'll keep your marks exactly the same distance apart. And you're going to make a line like I just did. And don't just put 20 and 40 on the ends of it, because you got to figure out how much each box is worth. If I were you, I would make each box worth 2. So you start on one end of your boxes, and you got like your lowest point, which is 20, and then go 22, 24, 26, 28, 30. Maybe you should label that one. You with me? You got your grid lines on your paper? You got 20 on this end. You got 30 in the middle. 32, oops, too far of a mark. 32, 34, 36, 38, 40. Now, your box is supposed to go above this line. I'm going to be checking on you in a second, so don't get way behind here. It'll be just like you're just wasting your time. You're going to make your box in here, and I'm totally doing it wrong on purpose. But I've done some of it right. My min is right. My max is right. But if it says 22.5 here, I can't just put this box in this line in a random spot. This is where 26 is. My Q1 is not 26. So, sure, you have a box in there somewhere, but it's not there. Putting the box in the right place. I'm gonna come around and check on you, make sure you understand what I'm talking about. You should have these 5 numbers written down somewhere, and you're gonna be making a nice box over a numbered number line. And it'll look kind of like this, but not exactly like that. I'm going to pause for a second while you do that. All right, so I'm going to now do my box right. Here's how I do them. Watch a pro. I go from 20 to 40 and I just draw a line. I start at 20, I go to 40, and I make a line. Then I put the box over the line, and the box goes from Q1, which is right there, 22.5, which is about there, to right here, which is Q3, which is 35.5. And then I make the rest of the box. Then I got to put in the median. Did you? Did you put one right at 26? Did you put a line right there above 26? Like that blue line right there? It's probably the most important thing on the whole box because you're going to forget it. You're going to be like, I drew a box. It's got whiskers. But if it doesn't have this, the minimum I can take off is 5% on a test. Okay. Now, I'd like you to just draw in one more box above this box. I'd like it to start at 26, make a line all the way to 40. From 26 to 40 this time, and make your box go between 30 and have it end at the same place the other box does, like right above the other box. So see how that one drops down to 30? And this one just lines up with the other edge of the box. Okay, so let's compare these two now, because that's another key skill for today is if I give you two box plots, you have to be able to intelligently compare them. If this is scores on a test and therefore you want higher scores, right? Sophia, I gotta write an email now. Put it away, no better. All right, so back to this. If you had to compare these two and the black box was one person's class, like let's say that's my class because it did better. So yay, I'm gonna say that's my class. Is it better because they got a high score? No. But my class, if you look at the black box, did better because why? Well, my lowest score is the median of the other group. You could tell that my class did better than whoever's this red class was, because of that one thing in particular. And you could also say that my Q1 is way higher than the red class's Q1. Could I say my Q3 is way better? No, it's the exact same. Could I say my top score is way better? No, it's the exact same. One last thing I never put in. It would be really smart to compare if I was given this test question. If I had to compare the medians, that's a pretty good comparison. The middle person in my class, let's say it's right there, got a 32. The middle person in this class got a 26. That's a huge difference. So even though the top end numbers are like the same, median is kind of like an average. My median was way higher at 32 than 26. That's how you could intelligently describe. You can't just say black box is better. You have to use math terms. Why is the black box better? Because the highest score is higher? No, highest scores were the same. Q3s were the same. But the median's way better. And the minimum in my class was the same as the median in the other class. Those would all be intelligent things you'd need to list in comparing these two. Any questions about that? All right, then your homework for today. Take it out. You're gonna have a whole bunch of time to work on it. I'll tell you which ones you can skip. Do you get that if we've given you 2 full days on this, then there must be a fair amount of test questions on mean, medium, mode, range? I mean, this is a lot of the test, what we just did yesterday and then today. Today was just like a repeat of yesterday, except with a little more complicated questions. And you had to make it on a number line, which made it a little more accurate. All right, so here we go. She's okay, she had a pass. All right. Damien, would you read me number 1, please? You don't have to read me all the data, but read me the questions.
Find the following information for the black box below.
All right. What's the first thing they want? Minimum. All right. So I'm looking at a box plot. I'm looking for the minimum. Did you guys get 4.3 on the minimum? Was it 4.3? 4.8. Okay. 4.8. Because that's like the smallest part. And I think from there, it's just, do you understand what all of those spots are on the box plot? And I think you will. Everybody go down to problem number 4. Cross it off. That'll save you a bunch of time. But every other thing on here, I felt like was too much like what we would test you on. So you should definitely do everything except problem 4. Problem 4 was just like overkill. It was stuff that's important, but we've already got one like it, so. All right, that keeps it very reasonable. You could finish this in class if you tried. And that's all I got for you for the video for today.